Summary. This section will give a brief statement of the different topics explained in Part 1 on debt of this presentation. What is a debt? When challenging a debt, evidence is key. Make sure you have evidence that you have paid the debt. Your creditor can show you've received a service from them. Good debts. Nothing wrong in having debts that help you to build your future, but do your research to ensure you're making the right decision. Priority and non-priority debts. Debts generally fall into two categories, priority and non-priority. Make sure you deal with your priority debts first. Why? Because the consequences can be far more severe than that of a non-priority. Speak to your landlord or the council as soon as you have difficulty paying your rent or council tax respectively. Engagement is extremely important. County court judgments. If you don't pay your non-priority debts, your creditors could take you to court and you could be issued with a county court judgment. Debt can move from a non-priority to a priority if you're a homeowner, and debt becomes a charge in order, so secured against your home. Apply to have the debt set aside if you don't believe you owe it. How to deal with your debts. When thinking about the best way to deal with your debts, make sure you deal with your priority debts first. Contact your creditors and explain your situation. Engage with your creditors. See if the least severe option is suitable, then the next, until you have no option but to declare yourself bankrupt. And speak to someone that can offer you advice, such as Citizens Advice, or National Debt Line, or even PayPlan. Don't ignore your debts, especially your priority debts. And don't pay for services when you can get the same service for free. Don't bury your head in the sand and do not give up. Bailiffs. Try to deal with your debts before your creditor passes it on to bailiff. Their fees will increase your debts quite considerably. Bailiffs may try talking you into letting them into your home. Don't let them in, especially if there is a vulnerable person in the home. They can only access your home through an unlocked door. Be mindful. If you've got a magistrate court fine or income tax debt, then the bailiff can use reasonable force to break into your home. If you have to deal with a bailiff, make sure you check the debt is valid, also that the bailiff is valid. Ask to see their ID. Phone the creditor if you're not sure. Time limits. The Limitation Act 1980 states that most debts are statute barred after 6 years. This means, while you may still owe the debt, your creditor cannot take legal action to recover it. The 6 years starts from when you last acknowledged the debt, by making a payment and sending a letter acknowledging payment is required. Some debts have different time limits. Mortgage debts, after repossession, have 6 years for interest and 12 years for the outstanding capital. Personal injury claims have 3 years. Not all debts have a time limit, so debts that cannot be statute barred are where your creditor has taken court action and you've received a county court judgment, or debts relating to income tax, VAT and capital gains tax to HMRC. That's the end of this presentation on debt. If you'd like more information about debts, follow the link below, then the section on debt advice. You can find out more information by speaking to any of Great Wall Homes partners that are able to give you specialist debt advice. Come up next in part 2, we'll take a look at welfare benefits.